श्री श्री गुरु गौरंग कंदार गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टो विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशुमार भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टो विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशुमार भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टो विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशुमार भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टो विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की jai. Sorry, let me just start it. I spaced out. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhaktivedanta Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Maha-Bhagavat Srila Gorkshadas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Naam Achay Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री मुनि देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्रीधर पंडित मुरारी गुप्ता हरिदास ठाकुर Advaita Acharya ki jai. It's chapter 10 of Madhya-khaṇḍa Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. The Lord's Sat Prahariya Bhav ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranams, Andri Hari Prabhu, and Bhavatarani Mataji, and Kishore Krishna Prabhu, and let's see, Raseshwari Mataji, and Ganga Mataji, Hari Priya Didi, and I see there are some other devotees. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. All right, so we can begin the Mangala Charat. 1 second. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujao kanakavadato sankirtanaikapitaro kamalayataksho vishvambharo dvijavaro yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Jai 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 Vishwambhara Dvijaraj Jai Vishwambhara Priya Vaishnava Samaj Gaura Chandra Jai Dharma Setu Mahadhir Jai Sankirtana Moy Sundara Sharir Jai Nityanandir Bandhava Dhana Pran Jai Gadadhar Advaitera Prema Dham Jai Shri Jagarananda Priya Atishay Jai Vakreshwar Kashishwarer Hriday Jai Jai Shri Vasadi Priya Varganath Jiva Pratikoro Prabhu Shubha Drishtipat Madhya-khaṇḍa katha jeno amriter khanda je katha shunile ghuche antar pashanda Madhya-khaṇḍa katha bhai shuno ekachitte sankirtana arambha hoilo jeno mate. Oh dear brothers, please hear attentively the topics of Madhya-khaṇḍa, wherein the inauguration of the Sankirtan pastimes is described. Tavai vasmi, na jivami tvaya vina, iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamang charanantikam, bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai, kshiptashtakama ditaranga madhe, kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna, Vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo Vidya Lala Sadidi. Oh, and I see a bunch of other devotees there. If you write a comment, then I will know who you are. Alright, so I am going to... Oh wait, almost forgot. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya-charitamrita. Ore muro loko shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshakal, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavana Das, Vrindavana Dasa Koilo Chaitanya Mangal, Jahara Shravane Nashri Sarvaya Mangal, Chaitanya Nitar Jate Janiye Mahima, Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima, Bhagavate Joto Bhakti Siddhanter Sar, Likhiachen Iha Jani Koriya Udhar, Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan, Sheho Mahavaishnava Hoy Totokon, Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Chaitanya, Vrindavana Dasa Pode Koti Namaskar, Aiche Granta Korite Ho Tarila Sangsar, Narayani Chaitanya Uchishta Bhajan, Tar Garbe Janmila Shri Dasa Vrindavan, Tar ki Arbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan, Jahara Shravane Shuddha Koila Tribhuvan. Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar, Vrindavana Dasamukhe Amrite Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya, the Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Shri Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai. Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Hari bol, everybody. So now we will continue reading from chapter 10, conclusion of the Lord's Mahaprakash pastimes. Hari Bol Vangshi Wala Prabhu Nitai Gaur Hari Bolo. Okay. And just letting you know, I'm a little bit spacey and my mind's not fully there because I'm a bit sick. But anyways, I think it's okay. I'll do okay. But all right. So we'll read this chapter summary by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj and then continue on from where we left off. This chapter describes the conclusion of Mahaprabhu's Mahaprakash pastimes mentioned in the previous chapter. Mahaprabhu's exhibition of the form of Ram with his associates and awarding benediction to Murari Gupta, the glorification of Haridas Thakur, Haridas Thakur's offering of prayers to Gauranga, the narration of Advaita Acharya's previous history, his changing the text of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord's awarding various and then that's what we read about yesterday. And today we will read like we read about Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur's prayers. No, just about Advaita Acharya, yeah. And then today we're going to read about the Lord's awarding various benedictions to the devotees, the Lord's first ignoring and then bestowing mercy on Mukunda, and then tomorrow we'll read about the influence of devotional service, the topics of Narayani, and the glories of Nityananda. Okay, so now a more detailed synopsis. After awarding benediction to Sridhar, Mahaprabhu requested Advaita Acharya to ask for some benediction. Advaita, however, simply prayed to the Lord to award him his desired goal of life, but did not openly ask for any benediction. Thereafter, Mahaprabhu displayed the form of Sri Ram with his associates to Murari Gupta, and reminded Murari of his previous identity. As Murari realized his own form as Hanuman, he fell unconscious to the ground. Later on, he regained his external consciousness by the words of the Lord, and he prayed for the benediction of being able to eternally serve Lord Chaitanya and his associates, remember the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, and sing the glories of Lord Chaitanya. The Lord awarded this benediction to Murari and declared that anyone who blasphemes Murari will not be delivered even if he takes millions of baths in the Ganga and chants the holy names of Hari. Thereafter, the Lord revealed the meaning of the name Murari Gupta. Means Lord Murari, Krishna Murari, secretly resides in his heart. Gupta, he secretly resides in his heart. Mahaprabhu then instructed Haridas to behold his form. Mahaprabhu declared that Haridas was more dear to him than his own self, and that he and Haridas belonged to the same family. On seeing the distress of Haridas, the Lord had descended from Vaikuntha with the Sudarshan chakra in his hand. But since Haridas desired auspiciousness for even his oppressors, the Sudarshan chakra desisted, and Mahaprabhu took the beating of Haridas on his own body. After exhibiting those marks of torture on his own body, Mahaprabhu further said that he was unable to tolerate the distress of Haridas. So he incarnated immediately. Lord Krishna, who is controlled by his devotees, does not know anything except his devotees. One who has no love for the holy names of Krishna, Krishna, who is so affectionate towards his devotees, is simply suffering the results of his own misfortune. Haribol Manjari Didi. On hearing the topics of the Lord's unlimited mercy, Haridas fell unconscious to the ground. Although he regained his external consciousness by the words of the Lord, he became agitated and began to cry. Thus he could not see the form of the Lord. With great humility, Haridas offered prayers to Mahaprabhu and said that the most merciful Gaurasundar never abandons even an insect who remembers his lotus feet. But he destroys an emperor who does not remember his lotus feet. In this regard, Haridas cited the examples of Draupadi, Prahlad, Yudhishthir, who feared the curse of Durvasa, and Ajamil. and thus established the supremacy of Gaurasundar's affection for his surrendered devotees. After expressing his total incompetence, Haridas simply prayed to the Lord that he may develop a taste for honoring the remnants of Lord Chaitanya's servants, that this may be his only form of worship, birth after birth, and that Mahaprabhu may keep him as a dog in the house of his devotee. It's very similar to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, Sarvasva Tomar, Charani Sampiya. Mahaprabhu, who constantly resides in the heart of Haridas, then awarded Haridas the benediction of pure devotional service devoid of offenses against Lord Vishnu and the Vaishnavas, and declared, "Anyone who associates with Haridas for even a moment and has full faith in Haridas will certainly attain my lotus feet." It is taught in all scriptures that by hearing the glories of the devotees, one attains devotional service to Krishna. According to the opinion of some persons, Haridas is an incarnation of Brahma, and according to others, he is an incarnation of Prahlad. His association is desired by even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and his touch is desired by even the Ganga. Moreover, simply by the darshan of Haridas, one's bondage of fruitive activities from time immemorial is at once severed. In order to establish the supremacy of the Vaishnavas occasionally manifest the pastime of taking birth in a low-class family. Mahaprabhu reminded Advaita about his previous activities of explaining devotional service in every passage of the Bhagavad Gita. Fasting on not finding the devotional meaning of some verse, seeing Mahaprabhu in his dream, and receiving the actual meaning of that verse and the instruction to break his fast. The Lord then revealed the proper meaning of the Bhagavad Gita verse beginning Sarvato Panipadam Tat. Śrī Advaita Acharya, Chaitanya's covert disciple, said that it was Lord Chaitanya's greatness that he is Advaita's worshipable Lord. Those who deny the supremacy of Lord Chaitanya and serve Advaita, the incarnation of Mahavishnu, by considering him the independent Lord, are actually offenders at the feet of Advaita. Their fate will certainly be like that of the 10-headed Ravan. Those who consider Advaita the foremost Vaishnav and the servant of Lord Chaitanya, they are actual devotees of Advaita and are qualified to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. This is Advaita's own statement. Okay, so that's we've read about Advaita yesterday, Advaita Acharya, and today we're going to be reading. I'll just read what we're reading. Yeah, I'll read the summary of what we're reading today. Thereafter, Mahaprabhu awarded desired benedictions to the assembled devotees. Up to this point, Mukunda was standing outside. When Srivas begged the Lord to bestow mercy on Mukunda, Mahaprabhu informed him that Mukunda was unqualified to receive his darshan because Mukunda associated with other sampradayas and shared the sentiments of those sampradayas. His mind and devotional service were unsteady. He was karda jatiya because sometimes he held a straw, karda, sometimes he held a karda in his teeth, and sometimes he beat with a stick with a jati, so he was karda jatiya. To deny the supremacy of devotional service is like beating the Lord's body with a stick. On hearing this, Mukunda resolved to give up his body on that very day and requested Srivas to ask Mahaprabhu whether he would ever get his darshan. When Mukunda was informed that he would get the Lord's darshan after 10 million lifetimes, he forgot himself in ecstasy and began to dance. Then Mahaprabhu called him by his side and forgave all his offenses. Accepting his own defeat, the Lord said, "I eternally reside on the tongue of Mukunda." Thereafter, Mukunda condemned himself for being devoid of devotional service and narrated the glories of devotional service and the formidable consequences of non-devotional life by citing his own example. Feeling embarrassed on seeing the repentant mood of Mukunda, Vishvambar glorified the supremacy of devotional service, declared that he is the only destroyer of one's fruit of bondage resulting from the karma-khaṇḍa mentioned in the Vedas, described the misfortune of the non-devotee washermen of Mathura, and then awarded Mukunda the benediction that he would sing for the Lord in all his incarnations. Okay, so that's what we'll be reading about today, and I'll read the rest of the summary tomorrow. All right, so where are we going? Verse 167. 1 second. Let me just get one. Oh, sorry. Oh, and Haribol, Shubhananda Prabhu, and Champak Mataji. Okay. What was the last verse we read yesterday? Okay. One who glorifies Advaita as the topmost Vaishnav is a real Vaishnav. He attains Krishna birth after birth. Such a person is most dear to Advaita. His fallen servants do not know this confidential fact. Yeah. Srila Saraswati Thakur says, the real servants of Sri Advaita Prabhu know that Sri Advaita is subordinate to Sri Chaitanya. They are dear to Advaita. And those servants who do not accept Advaita Prabhu as the eternal servant of Krishna, though they consider themselves servants of Advaita, are most fallen. Those who on the pretext of devotional service exhibit pride by covering the actual truth cannot be candidates for Advaita's mercy. I learned yesterday about many in the Advaita Parivar, although there are different factions, it seems like, right? But many think that Advaita Acharya is the Supreme Lord, and that Mahaprabhu is his subordinate. They have it mixed up. Lord Gaurasundar is the controller of everyone. This statement is very dear to Advaita. All these statements emanated from Advaita's own mouth, so one should never have any doubt in this regard. After explaining the actual purport of the Bhagavad Gita verse to Advaita, Vishvambar hid the door of devotional service. Okay, so now we come to where we left off yesterday, 167. Oh, Haribol Mahibharat Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Shri Bhuja Tuliya Bole Prabhu Vishvambhar Sabhe More Dekho Mago Jar Jevar Anandita Hoila Sabhe Prabhur Vachane Jar Je Icha Mage Tahar Karane. Sorry. Advaita bolo e Prabhu mor eibar Murka nicha pati tere anugraha koro. Lord Vishvambar raised his arms and said, everyone, look at me and ask for any benediction you desire. Hearing the Lord's words, everyone became jubilant and asked for a benediction according to their desire. Advaita said, O Lord, my desire is that you bestow mercy on the foolish, wretched, and fallen persons. Gaudiya Bhashya. When Sri Gaurasundar desired to award benedictions, Sri Advaita prayed that Sri Chaitanya Dev's mercy should be distributed among persons who are devoid of learning, aristocracy, and wealth. Keho bole mor bape na de asibare tar chitta bhalo hok deho evare. Someone said, my father does not allow me to come. Please give me the benediction that his heart may change. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. One person prayed, my well-wishing guardian father has forbidden me to advance on the path of devotional service. Please give me the benediction that his mind may change, and he will not place obstacles on the path of my cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Keho bole Shishyapat Prati. I'm sure during Nri Hari Prabhu and Papatarni Mataji's time, many devotees were praying in that way, right? Keho bole Shishya Prati, Keho Putra Prati, Keho Bharja, Keho Bhritya, Jar Jatharati, Keho bole Amar hok Guru Bhakti, E mata vara mage jar jay jukti. And also Mahi Bharat Prabhu's time doing that. in the old days then. Yeah. Okay, according to their attachment, various devotees requested benedictions for their disciple, son, wife, or servant. Someone said, "May I develop devotion for my spiritual master." That's a really nice one. Amar hok Guru Bhakti. May I develop devotion for my spiritual master. In this way, they all requested benedictions according to their reasoning. And notice how nobody asked for any selfish benedictions, nothing for themselves. It all had to do with other people. That my father's heart may change. That Advaita says that you may bestow the mercy on the foolish, wretched, and fallen persons. May I develop devotion for my spiritual master. Yeah. Gaudiya Bhashya. Someone prayed for a benediction as follows: "Let my disciple, my son, my wife, and my servants be eager to serve you." Someone else said, "Let my propensity to serve the lotus feet of my spiritual master increase." Their asking for various benedictions was approved by the respective intelligence and reasoning. Kishore Krishna wrote, "Guru Nishta is the backbone of bhakti." Gurudev used to say that all the time. Meru Danda, right? It's the backbone. Bhakta Vakya Satyakari Prabhu Vishwambhar Hasiya Hasiya Sabha Kare Denvar. Lord Vishwambar, who makes the words of his devotees come true, smiled as he gave benedictions to everyone. Mukunda achen anta pater bahire sammukha hoite shakti Mukunda nadhore. Mukunda was sitting behind a curtain. He had no power to come before the Lord. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word antapata, anta means situated within, and pata means curtain, so it means an interior curtain. Mukunda sabar priya parama mahanta bhalo mate jane she sabar vritanta. Mukunda was a great devotee and dear to everyone. He was well conversant with the background of everyone. Niravadi kirtana koroye prabhu shune kona jana na bhuje tatapi danda kene. The Lord would always listen whenever he would chant, so no one could understand why he was being punished. Thakure ho nahi dake asite na pare dekhiya janmila dukh sabar antare. The Lord did not call him, so he could not come. Everyone felt distress on seeing this. Shrivas polen shuno jagater nath Mukunda ki aparad korilo tomato. Shiva said, "O Lord of the universe, please listen. How has Mukunda offended you? What aparad has he committed?" Mukunda tomar priya mosabar pran kebanahi draveshuni Mukunder gan. Mukunda is dear to you, and he is the life of us all. Whose heart does not melt on hearing Mukunda sing? Bhakti parayana sarva dike savadhan aparadha na dekhiya koro apaman. He is attached to devotional service and is always careful. Yet without seeing any fault in him, you dishonor him. You're rejecting him. Apaman korsho. Jadi aparadha thake tar shasti koro Aparar dase kene dure pariharo. If he has actually committed an offense, then punish him. But why should you neglect your servant? Why should you neglect your servant? Okay, Shasti, give him punishment, but don't ignore him. Why are you ignoring him? Parihara, why are you rejecting him like that? Tumi nada kile nare sammukha hoite dekhuk tomare prabhu bolo bhalo mate. He cannot come before you unless you call him. Therefore, O Lord, please call him so that he can see you. Prabhu bole heno bakya kabuna boliba. O betar lagi more kabu na sadhiva. The Lord replied, "Do not speak such words again. Don't ever speak to me on that fellow's behalf." Gaudiya Bhashya. Srivas requested the Lord to call Mukunda before him. In reply to this, the Lord said in anger, "Don't ever request me to bestow mercy on him." Kharoloy jatiloy purve je shunila, oi beta she hoy keho na chinila. You have heard before the saying, sometimes he takes a straw in his hands, and sometimes he takes a stick. Kharoloy jatiloy. This applies to this fellow, yet none of you have recognized him. Keho na chinila. Kone dante trinaloy kone jati mare, o khara jatia beta na dekhibe more. Sometimes he takes a straw in his teeth, and sometimes he beats with a stick. Therefore, this straw stick holder cannot see me. Gaudiya Bhashya. Sometimes Mukunda holds a straw between his teeth to express his humility, and sometimes he attacks me. According to his consideration, his one hand is at my feet, and his other hand is on my neck. Whenever it suits him, he becomes my subordinate, and at other times he blasphemes me. Mukunda is a synthesizer. He identifies himself according to what suits him, and thus invites his own inauspiciousness. Therefore, I do not feel like giving any benediction to him. Sometimes he discusses the book Yoga Vishishta with Advaita and supports the Mayavad philosophy. And sometimes he gives up the Mayavad philosophy and expresses humility in the attempt to cultivate Krishna consciousness. When I instruct others to always chant the holy names of Hari by becoming more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, ready to offer all respects to others and not expecting respect for oneself, then, considering himself a servant of Advaita, Mukunda desires to become one with Brahman. He gives up the quality of tolerance and supports the philosophy of Yoga Vashishta, which is a misinterpretation of Vedanta. Wow, that's very interesting, because we were hearing that some of the some factions of Advaita Parivar are Mayavadis, and even Advaita's own sons, right? 3 of them were not favorable to bhakti, and so it's kind of seems like it's putting Mukunda in that, Mahaprabhu is saying that, yeah. Moreover, with a desire to sit among the Vaishnavas, he pretends to be decorated with the humility of an exalted devotee, and thus identifies himself as a devotee. And we hear that whole pastime of when Advaita Acharya was giving the commentary of Vedanta, but instead of explaining bhakti, he was explaining I'm not sure if it is Mayavad or Advaitavad at least, and he did that to get Mahaprabhu to make him the subordinate, right? And so that Mahaprabhu would, and so, but I wonder if when Advaita, anyways, whatever, I can speculate, but when Advaita Acharya was doing that, if some of his sons and people would take that as, see, Advaita Acharya himself is saying this. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to stop talking so much. Okay. Oh, Haribol Sudevi Didi. Kishore says, yes, they do. Yeah. Mahavakta Srinivas bole ar bar, bujhite tomar shakti kar adhikar. The expert speaker, Srivas, spoke again to the Lord. He said, who is qualified to understand your prowess? Amra to mukunder dosha nahi dekhi, tomar abhay para parmatar shakhi. We do not find any fault in Mukunda. Your lotus feet, which award fearlessness, are witness of this fact. Prabhu bole, O beta, jokhon jathal jai, she mata kotha kohi tathai mishai. The Lord said, wherever this fellow goes, he mingles with the persons there and speaks like one of them. Vashishta padoye jabe advaiter shange, bhakti joge nache gaye trina kori dante. When he studies Yoga Vashishta and Advaita's association, he takes a straw in his teeth and sings and dances in a devotional mood. Anya sampradaya giya, jokon sambhai, nahi mane bhakti jati maroye sadai. When he mingles with another sampradaya, he constantly beats me with a stick by not accepting devotional service. Gaudiya Bhashya. When Mukunda mingles with the Mayavadis, he denies the eternity of devotional service and attacks the devotees in a battle of argument. The word sampai means enters. The phrase anya sampradaya refers to the Mayavad sampradaya. Bhakti hoite boro ache, je iha bakhane, nirantar jati more, mare she jane. Anyone who explains there is something superior to devotional service, anybody who says that constantly beats me with a stick. Gaudiya Bhashya. Those who consider that karma, jnana, yoga, and Vedic study are equal to or greater than devotional service are beating me. The word jati means stick. There is a community in Punjab known as Jata who carry sticks in their hands. Later, on many of them entered the disciplic succession founded by Guru Nanak. Interesting. That's the sheikhs, right? Okay. Bhakti stane uhar hoilo aparad, eteke uhar hoilo darashana badho. He has committed an offense against devotional service. Therefore, he cannot see me. Gaudiya Bhashya. Those who engage in karma, jnana, yoga, and austerities are unable to understand the actual nature of devotional service and commit offenses at the feet of Bhakti Devi. The devotees of the Lord do not give their association to such offenders. Therefore, I also cannot tolerate seeing any karmis or mayavadis. That was Mahaprabhu. Mukunda shunoye shab, bahire thakiya, na paibo darshan, shunilen iha. 1 second. Mukunda heard everything from outside. He heard that he would not get the Lord's darshan. Guru uparode purve na manilu bhakti, shab jane Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Shakti. Mahaprabhu knew that I did not respect devotional service due to the advice of some guru. This is the potency of Lord Chaitanya. Gaudiya Bhashya. Previously, on the instructions of some sampradaya, I did not accept the supremacy of devotional service. This is well known to Mahaprabhu. Devotional service to Krishna is the energy of Śrī Caitanya-dev, the source of all energies. Therefore, I am an offender. The eternal propensity of a pure living entity is bhakti. All living entities are constitutionally situated on the platform of devotional service. If one abandons such a propensity and welcomes other propensities, he commits an offense. Haribol, Vishaka Didi, and Prajumna Prabhu, and Mantramurti Mataji. Mane chinte Mukunda parama bhagavat, e deha rakite mor na hoy jukata. The exalted Vaishnav Mukunda thought, there is no need to continue my life. Aparadi sharir charibo aji ami, dekhibo kotek kale iha nahi jani. Today, I will give up this offensive body, for I do not know when I will see him again. Mukunda bolen shuno Thakur Shivas, Kabuna dekhimu mui, bolo Prabhu Pash. Kandaye Mukunda hoy, ajor nayane, Mukunder duke kande Bhagavata gane. Mukunda said, "Listen, Shivas Thakur. Ask the Lord when I will be able to see him." Mukunda then shed incessant tears, and all the devotees also began to cry on seeing Mukunda's distress. Gaudiya Bhashya. After hearing the words of Mahaprabhu, Mukunda understood that the Lord was extremely unhappy with him, and he would not give him darshan. Therefore, Mukunda said to Srivas, "How long will it be before I am qualified to go before Mahaprabhu?" After saying this, Mukunda began to cry profusely in distress. Prabhu bole ar jodi koti janma hoy, tabe mor darshana paibe nishchoy. The Lord said, "After millions of births, he will certainly get my darshan." Gaudiya Bhashya. In answer, the Lord said, "After millions of births, Mukunda will be fortunate enough to get my darshan." Shunilo nishchoy prapti prabhur shimukhe, Mukunda shinchita hoila parananda sukhe. Paibo paibo boli kore mahanritya, Premete vivala hoila Chaitanyer bhritya. As soon as Mukunda heard from the Lord that he would certainly attain him, he became immersed in spiritual happiness. He began to enthusiastically dance while exclaiming, "I will attain him! I will attain him! Paibo, paibo!" In this way, Lord Chaitanya's servant became overwhelmed in ecstasy. Gaudiya Bhashya. On hearing from the Lord that he would attain devotional service and the Lord's darshan after millions of lifetimes, Mukunda became jubilant. Since according to the consideration of the Lord's devotees, the Mayavadis commit spiritual suicide and are never eligible to attain devotional service to the Lord. Mukunda was most jubilant to know that he was not subject to such a situation. Devotional service, which is the eternal function of the living entities, is vanquished forever when one attains the result of cultivating Brahman realization. It is stated in the Brahmanda Puran, Siddha Brahma Sukhe Magna Daityascha Harina Hata. The Siddhas reside there, absorbed in the bliss of Brahman. Demons killed by the Lord also attain that realm. And for disrespecting Mahaprasad, Brahmavan nirvikaram hi yata vishnus tataiva tat vikaram ye prakurvanti bhakshane tadvijataya kushtavyadi samayukta putradara vivarjita nirayang yantite vipras tasman navartate puna. That's what is that from? Is this also from Brahmanda Puran? I guess so. O Brahmins. Oh no, that's Hari Bhakti Vilas. Okay, O Brahmins, the offerings to Sri Hari are transcendental, incorruptible, and non-different from Vishnu. Those with perverted mentality who think them to be material will develop leprosy, will be devoid of children, wife, and family, and will go to the deepest, darkest regions of hell, from which they will never return. Those who think that the transcendental offerings to Hari are material. Okay. Now, it is also stated, that was from Hari Bhakti Vilas. Now, it is also stated, Yo Vyakti Nyayarahitam Anyayena Shrunoti Ya Tavubho Narakam Ghoram Vrajata Kalamakshayam. Oh, I've heard this verse before. One who assumes the dress and position of an acharya, who speaks against the conclusions of Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures, and who performs kirtan opposed to the proper glorification of Sri Krishna, certainly goes to hell for countless lifetimes, along with his disciples and whoever hears such a non-devotional talks and kirtans. Wow, that's heavy. Wow, okay. That's from Hari Bhakti Vilas 1:101. Since the conclusions of such verses manifested in the waves of Mukunda's thoughts, and as a result, feelings of hopelessness arose in him, Mukunda became extremely happy when delivered from that condition by the assuring words, after millions of births, he will attain devotional service. He will certainly attain devotional service. He remembered the unlimited mercy of Śrī Caitanya, became overwhelmed with love of God, and began to dance enthusiastically. One day he would obtain the Lord's darshan. This was the cause of Mukunda's jubilation. Mahanande Mukunda nachaye shekhane, dekhi ben heno vakya shuniya shravane. On hearing the statement, he will see me, Mukunda began to dance. He began to dance there in great happiness. Mukunda dekhiya Prabhu hase vishrambar, agya hoilo Mukundere anoho satvar. On seeing Mukunda, Lord Vishrambar smiled. Hase can either mean smiled or it could also mean laugh. He laughed. And he ordered, bring Mukunda at once. Shakala Vaishnava dake Aisaho Mukunda, na jane Mukunda kichu paya ananda. All the Vaishnavas called, come Mukunda. But Mukunda was so happy that he did not know what was happening. Prabhu bole Mukunda guchilo aparad, aiso amare dekho doroho prasad. The Lord said, O Mukunda, you are freed from your offenses. Come see me and take my mercy. Prabhur agyay sabe anilo dhoriya, porilo Mukunda mahapurusha dekhiya. By the order of the Lord, all the devotees brought Mukunda, who fell to the ground on seeing the Lord. Prabhu bole uto uto Mukunda amar, tilar dheka aparadha nahi ko tomar. The Lord said, Uto, Uto, Mukunda, get up, my dear Mukunda. You do not have even a fraction of offense. Shangadosh tomar shakal hoilo koi, tor sthane amar hoilo parajay. The faults of your bad association are vanquished. I have been defeated by you. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Supreme Lord is controlled by love. A devotee is able to control the love. A devotee is able to control the Lord with love in such a way that he is always capable of even changing the Lord's will. Mahaprabhu said, O Mukunda, my extraordinary power has been defeated by your loving service. Forgetting your position as an eternal servant of the Lord, you forgot your constitutional duties as a result of the bad association you had at that time. Therefore, you were affected by bad association. By the influence of the Lord's eternal devotees' association, your temporary taste for the non-devotional path has been converted into eternal taste. Therefore, aversion to the Lord cannot be present in you. I gave you the benediction that you would achieve devotional service to the Lord. But according to the degree of your offense, I ascertained that your reinstatement in devotional service would take millions of births. Due to your intense eagerness for devotional service, you have surpassed the time determined by me in a moment. My potency has been defeated by your potency. Koti janme paiba heno bolilam ami dilar dheke shab taha ghuchaile tumi. You declared that you would achieve me after millions of births, but you have become freed from them within a moment. Avyartha amar vakya tumi se janila, tumi ama sarvakala hridaye bandhila. You are confident that my words are infallible. Thus you have captured me in your heart forever. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since the degree of your devotional service is so great, you accepted my words on your head and believes that your devotional propensity would again be revived. But at that time, you were convinced that you would attain devotional service after millions of births. Because you have eternally captured me in your heart and placed firm faith in my words, I can never actually become averse to you. Amar gayan tumi, thako ama sange, parihasa patra sange, ami koilo range. You are my singer, and you always reside with me. I was joking with you because you were a proper candidate. Gaudiya Bhashya. You always sing the glories of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, you always reside with me. So when I said that you would see me after millions of births, you should know that this was simply a joke. You are most dear to me, so it is my nature to joke with you. And we saw that most beautiful chapter, how the Lord used to joke with Sridhar Pandit, because Sridhar was so dear to him. So if the Lord's messing with you, that means you're extra dear to him. Satya jadi tumi koti aparadha koro, she shakala mithya tumi mor priya dridha. If you actually committed millions of offenses, they wouldn't be considered offenses because you are so dear to me. Gaudiya Bhashya. Eternal devotees and experienced devotees never commit any offenses. Even if they manifest something similar to an offense, they are never subjected to any punishment for that offense. If a devotee like you commits millions of offenses, those offenses cannot remain in you because of your determination and love. Bhakti moy tomar sharir mor das, tomar jivai mor nirantar bas. You are my servant, and your body is filled with devotional service. I constantly reside on your tongue. Gaudiya Bhashya. The bodily limbs of the Lord's devotees are always inclined towards the service of Krishna. Sri Gaurasundar is not different from his holy names. Therefore, he constantly resides on the tongue of Mukunda. In the eternal realization of Krishna's servants, the propensity for service is always present. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is obliged to constantly reside on the tongue of the devotees. Prabhur ashvas shuni kandaye Mukunda, dikkar koriya apanare bole manda. On hearing the Lord's solacing words, Mukunda cried profusely as he lamented and condemned himself. Bhakti na manilo mui e char mukhe, dekhile bhakti shunya ki paibo shukhe. I am so wretched that I have not accepted devotional service. Since I am devoid of devotional service, how will I become happy by seeing you? Gaudiya Bhashya. Mukunda said, I am an unfortunate person devoid of the Lord's service. Therefore, I have not accepted the importance of devotional service with my body, mind, and speech. Devotional service is full of bliss. I am devoid of devotional service. So how will I achieve happiness by seeing you? Vishwarup tomar dekhilo Duryodhan, jaha deki bare vede kore anveshan. Duryodhan saw your universal form, which some people search throughout the Vedas to see. Gaudiya Bhashya. They search throughout the Vedas to see, but Duryodhan saw that form. Gaudiya Bhashya. Duryodhan's darshan of the universal form is described as follows. Desiring to avoid unnecessary battle, Maharaj Yudhishthir sent Lord Krishna as a messenger to Duryodhan, the head of the Kauravas, prior to the commencement of the battle of Kurukshetra, and proposed that the kingdom be divided in half to maintain peace. Duryodhan did not agree to this proposal and conspired to arrest Lord Krishna. As a result, Lord Krishna became angry and said to Duryodhan, O Duryodhan, you desire to arrest me, considering that I am alone. But such a desire is completely foolish. Just behold, All the Pandavas, Antakas, Vrishnis, Adityas, Rudras, Vasus, and sages are all present. After speaking in this way, Lord Krishna loudly laughed, and the demigods, Pandavas, Antakas, and Vrishnis, who were all as effulgent as fire and resembled a thumb in size, began to appear from the body of Lord Krishna. In this way, Lord Krishna agitated, shocked, and frightened Duryodhana by manifesting his universal form, and then left the assembly. That's from Mahabharata, Udyog Parva, chapters 130 to 131. Dekhia o sabangshe morilo Duryodhan, na pailo shuk bhakti shunyer karan. Yet, even after seeing the universal form of the Lord, Duryodhana, along with his family, were all killed. He did not obtain any happiness because he was devoid of devotional service. So we're not just having darshan of the Lord doesn't mean anything. Sometimes we hear the example, right? That if Krishna were to come in front of us right now, we wouldn't serve him. So why should he give us darshan? It's not such an easy thing to develop this bhakti. Cultivate bhakti, I mean. Gaudiya Bhashya. Persons who are engrossed in material concepts consider this material world as the temporary universal form of the Lord. Although Duryodhana, who was enriched in material knowledge, saw such a universal form of the Lord, he was killed along with his family because he was cheated from seeing the actual form of the Lord. Although due to his piety, Duryodhana saw the Lord within the material world created by the external energy of the Lord, since he did not see the actual form of the Lord, but rather considered the Lord material, he could not become inclined towards the service of the Lord. That is why it was impossible for Duryodhana to achieve any devotional happiness. Rather, since he was averse to the service of the Lord, he was destroyed along with his family as a mark of punishment. Heno bhakti nama nilo ami char mukhe, dekhile ki hoibo ar mor prema sukhe. Jokhone cholila tumi rukmini harane, dekhilo narendra toma garuda bahane, abhisheke hoilo raja rajeshwar naam, dekhilo narendra shab jyotirmoy dham, brahmadi dekhite jaha kore abhilash, vidarbha nagare taha korila prakash, taha dekhi more shab narendrer gan, na pailo shuk bhakti shunyer karan. I am so wretched that I have not accepted devotional service. Since I am devoid of devotional service, how will I achieve love of God by seeing you? When you went to kidnap Rukmini, all the kings saw you riding on the back of Garuda. During the Abhishek named Raja Rajeshwar, all the kings saw your effulgent form. In the city of Vidarbha, you manifested your form that personalities like Lord Brahma desired to see. In spite of seeing your form, all those kings were killed. They could not achieve any happiness because they were devoid of devotional service. Gaudiya Bhashya. The kidnapping of Rukmini by Lord Krishna is described as follows. Rukmini Devi, the manifestation of Lakshmi, appeared as the daughter of Bhishmaka, the king of Vidarbha. She heard about the beauty and qualities of Lord Krishna from various persons and became attached to him within her mind. Considering Śrī Krishna as a suitable groom, King Bhishmaka resolved to give Rukmini to him in charity. At that time, Rukmini's brother Rukmi, who was envious of Krishna, forbade his father and he fixed Shishupal as the groom. On hearing this, Rukmini became extremely distressed, and in order to convey her attachment for Krishna, she sent him a letter through a reliable Brahmana. She also requested that Krishna should kidnap her before Shishupal comes to marry her, and she informed him as to how that should be done. When Lord Krishna and the Brahman arrived by chariot in the city of Vidarbha on the day before the marriage, the Brahman went to Rukmini and informed her of Krishna's arrival and plan. When, according to family custom, Rukmini went the day before marriage to visit the temple of goddess Ambika, Lord Krishna immediately placed her on his chariot, defeated the kings who were Shishupal's well-wishers, and departed for his own abode. That's from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, chapters 53 and 54. It's a very exciting part of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Okay. Sarva yagya moy rupa karan shukar, avirbhava hoila tumi joler bhitor, ananta prithvi lagi achaye dashane, je prakasha dekhite dever anveshane. Dekhile ko hiranya apurva darshan, na pailo shuk bhakti shunyer karan. In your boar form, as a personification of sacrifice, you once entered into the water and held the vast earth on your tusks. The demigods desired to see that form of yours. Although Hiranyaksha saw that wonderful form, he did not receive any happiness because he was devoid of devotional service. Bhakti shunyar karan, because of being devoid of bhakti. Gaudiya Bhashya. After the universal annihilation, when Lord Brahma, with a desire to create, was absorbed in thought of how to deliver the submerged earth from the waters, the tiny form of Varaha came out of his nostril. Within a moment, that form assumes the size of a large elephant. While searching for the earth by smelling like an animal, he entered into the water and then raised the earth from Rasatal by his tusks. At that time, Hiranyaksha came before the Lord with a club in hand in order to stop him. But Lord Varahadev easily destroyed him. That's from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 13. Ar Mahaprakasha dekhilo tar bhai, Mahagopya hridaye Śrī Kamalar thai, Apurva nrisingha roop, Kohe tribhuvane, Taha dekhi more bhakti shunyer karane. His brother, Hiranyakashipu, also saw a wonderful and most confidential manifestation of the Lord, who resides in the heart of Śrī Kamala, Lakshmi. This wonderful form is renowned in the three worlds as Nrsingadev. Yet even after seeing that form, Hiranyakashipu was killed because he was devoid of devotional service. Taha dekhi more bhakti shunyer karane, also devoid of devotional service. Heno bhakti mor char mukhe na manilo, e boro adbhut mukha khashi na porilo. I did not care for such devotional service, yet my head did not fall off. This is indeed astonishing. Kubja yagya patni pura nari malakar, kotai dekhilo tara prakasha tomar. How are Kubja, the wives of the sacrificial brahmanas, the women of Mathura, and the florist all able to see your form? How are they all able to see your form? Bhakti joge tomare pailo tara sabo, shekhane more kangsha dekhi anubhava. They were able to see you simply due to their devotional service. Yet Kamsa was destroyed at the same place, in spite of seeing your opulence. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Mathura women's darshan of Krishna is described as follows. After Lord Krishna was brought to Mathura by Akrura, he walked through the streets of Mathura in the company of the cowherd boys, enjoying the wonderful beauty of the city. At that time, the women of the city immediately left their respective duties and went either onto their roofs, or to the gates of their houses in order to see Krishna. They already knew about Krishna. Now, after seeing him, their hearts became pacified. The women on the roofs happily showered flowers on Krishna and praised the gopis for their good fortune of constantly seeing Krishna. The florist's darshan of Krishna is described as follows. With a desire to dress attractively and be adorned with sandalwood pulp before entering Kamsa's assembly, Lord Krishna went to the house of Sudama, the florist. When Sudama worshipped Lord Krishna with padya, arghya, and sandalwood pulp, and then offered prayers to him, Lord Krishna was pleased and awarded him his desired benediction. See Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, chapter 41. Kubja's darshan of Krishna is described as follows. After he left the house of Sudama, when Lord Krishna saw Sairindri, who was a hunchback, coming towards him on the road with a bowl of sandalwood pulp, he requested her for the sandalwood pulp. Kubja became overwhelmed on seeing the beauty of Lord Krishna, and after she offered him the thick sandalwood pulp, Lord Krishna pressed on the toes of the deformed Sairindra's feet, with his feet, and catching hold of her chin, he straightened her backbone. Heno bhakti mor char muke nama nilo, e boro kripator tatapi rohilo. I disrespected such glorious devotional service with my mouth. Sorry, Mukunda says, I disrespected such glorious devotional service with my mouth. It is your mercy that I am still alive. Jai Bhakti Prabhave Shri Ananta Mahaboli Ananta Brahmanda Dhore Hoy Kutuhali. The most powerful Sri Ananta effortlessly holds innumerable universes by the influence of this devotional service. Sahasra Phanar Ek Phane Bindu Jeno Joshe Matta Prabhu Nahi Jane Ache Heno. He is so intoxicated by chanting your glories that he does not even notice the universes that are resting like a drop on one of his thousands of hoods. Nirashraye palana koren sabakar, bhakti yoga prabhave esab adhikar. Ananta independently maintains everyone. This is possible by the influence of his devotional service. Heno bhakti nama nilu mui papa mati ashesha ashesh janme o mor nahi bhalo gati. I am so sinful that I did not accept such devotional service. Therefore, I will not achieve the goal of life even after unlimited births. Bhakti joge goripati hoila shankar, bhakti joge narada hoila munivar. On the strength of devotional service, Shankar became the husband of Gauri, and on the strength of devotional service, Narad became the greatest among sages. Gaudiya Bhashya. The devotional service of Gauri's husband is explained in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, chapter 6, as follows. When Lord Krishna desired to give Sati as a wife to Shankar, Lord Shiva spoke as follows. He said, O my Lord, I do not wish to have a wife. Please give me my desired benediction. My desire for your devotional service is increasing day and night, and I am not satiated by chanting your names and serving your lotus feet. O my Lord, may I constantly sing your most auspicious names and qualities with my 5 mouths as I wander about in a dream or in wakefulness. Material enjoyment, yoga, and austerities do not appeal to my mind, for I wish to eagerly meditate on your enchanting form for millions of kalpas. My happiness is uninterrupted while serving you, offering obeisances to you, and chanting your names. But when these activities are finished, my happiness is also. O Lord, O giver of benedictions, please bestow on me the 9 forms of devotional service so that I may constantly remember your pastimes, chant and hear your glories and qualities, meditate on your attractive form, offer obeisances at your lotus feet, surrender fully, and eat your remnants. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 3:28-22, it is stated, Yach chocha nirsita sarit Yach chocha nirsita sarit pravarodakena tirtena murdnadikritena shiva shivo bhutsai dhyaturmana shamala shaila nirsrishta vajram dhyayech chiram bhagavatash charanaravindam. The blessed Lord Shiva becomes all the more blessed by bearing on his head the holy waters of the Ganga, which has its source in the water that washed the Lord's lotus feet. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1063, verses 43-44, it is stated, Aham brahmata vibuddha munayash chamalashaya sarvatmana prapannastvam atmanam prishtam ishvaram. Tam tam jagat stita, tam tva jagat stityut udayanta hetum samang prasantam suridatmadaivam ananyamekam jagadatmaketam bhavapavargaya bhajamadevam. I, Lord Brahma, the other demigods, and the pure-minded sages have all surrendered wholeheartedly unto you, our dearmost self and Lord. Let us worship you, the Supreme Lord, to be freed from material life. You are the maintainer of the universe and the cause of its creation and destruction. Equipoised and perfectly at peace, you are the true friend, self, and worshipable Lord. You are one without a second, the shelter of all the worlds and all souls. The devotional service of Narad is explained in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, chapters 5 and 6, as follows. Long ago, the great sage Narad took birth from the womb of a maidservant who engaged in the service of sages well versed in the Vedic literatures. When the sages remained together at one place during the period of Chaturmasya, she steadfastly served them and ate their remnants. As a result, the mirror of her heart was cleansed, and she developed a taste for Bhagavat Dharma. Later on, when those sages were leaving for other places, they instructed her in the most confidential science of the absolute truth. In due course of time, after his mother left her body, Narad gave up all hesitation for loudly chanting the Lord's names. As he traveled alone in the state through many provinces, he once sat down under a tree and through meditation achieved darshan of Lord Hari. Thereafter, he served saintly persons for some time, and while chanting the holy names without expecting any respect, yet ready to offer all respect to others, he left his body and attained the position of Lord Hari's associate. We're getting close to the end. We're reading up to verse 242. Veda dharma joge nana shastra kori vyas tilardeka chitte nahi vasen prakash mahagopya gyane bhakti bolila shankhepe shabe e aparada chitter vikhepe narader vake bhakti korila vistare tobe mano dukha gelo tarila sangsare. After compiling many scriptures dealing with Vedic religious principles and yoga, Vyasadeva did not feel any satisfaction at heart. The cause of his dissatisfaction was due to the fault of describing devotional service too briefly in the course of his elaborate presentation on the most confidential knowledge. On the instructions of Narad, he elaborately described devotional service. Then his distress was vanquished, and he delivered the entire world. Gaudiya Bhashya. For a description of this topic, see Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4. Kita hoy nama nilu mui heno bhakti, ar toma dekhi bare ache mor shakti. I am an insignificant creature, for I have not accepted such devotional service. So what power do I have to see you? Pahutuli kandaye Mukunda mahadas, Sharir chaloye heno bahe mahashwas. The great servant Mukunda raised his arms and cried. He breathed so heavily that his body began to shake. Shahaje ekanta bhakta ki kohibo sima, Chaitanya priyer maje jahar ganana. Mukunda was by nature an unalloyed devotee. How can I describe the extent of his glories? He is counted amongst the dear associates of Lord Chaitanya. Mukunder khed deki Prabhu Vishvambhar, lajit hoya kichu korila uttar. On seeing Mukunda's lamentation, Lord Vishvambhar became somewhat embarrassed and spoke to him as follows. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mukunda was a natural devotee. Factually, he was a servant of unalloyed devotional service. Therefore, it is impossible for a person to find the limit of his glories. Sri Mukunda is counted among the dear devotees of Śrī Caitanya. Okay, this is where I said we'd read up to. Okay, so I'll just read the translations for the next few verses and then we can end. Mukunda, your devotional service is very pleasing to me. I personally manifest wherever you sing. Whatever you have said is indeed true, for one cannot achieve perfection without devotional service, even if he sees me face to face. You are very dear to me. I am telling you the truth. Who has the power to nullify the various duties and their concomitant results I have prescribed in the Vedas? It is I alone who can change these, for my authority is beyond all rules and regulations. I have established the fact that no activity is fruitful without devotional service. If one does not accept devotional service, I feel aggrieved at heart, and as a result, he is obstructed from seeing me. Even though the washerman saw me, when I asked him for something, he was deceived because he had no devotion. That washerman underwent austerities for millions of lifetimes in order to see me. Even though out of great fortune he achieved my darshan, he did not obtain any happiness because he was devoid of devotional service. I do not show any compassion to those who are devoid of devotional service. Therefore, they are bereft of the happiness derived from my darshan. I didn't know that the washerman underwent austerities for millions of lifetimes, and that's in order to see the Lord. Wow, that's very... Anyways, we'll read Srila Saraswati Thakur's commentary on that tomorrow. If one commits an offense to devotional service, his devotion is vanquished. And one who is bereft of devotion derives no benefit from my darshan. Whatever you have said has been spoken by me. Otherwise, how could those statements come from your mouth? I tell you that I will distribute devotional service. I have already imparted love and devotion into your voice. The hearts of all Vaishnavas melt while hearing your singing. You are extremely dear to me. May you become similarly dear to all the Vaishnavas. Wherever I incarnate, you will accompany me as my singer. When the Lord awarded this benediction to Mukunda, a tumultuous sound of joy was heard everywhere. Everyone folded their hands as they chanted, Hari Bol, Hari, Hari Bol, Jai Jagannath. Anyone who hears Mukunda's prayers and the benediction awarded to him will become a singer with him. Wow, that's a very neat benediction. Anyone who hears Mukunda's prayers and the benediction awarded to him will become a singer with him.
Wow. I love it. Yay.
These topics of Lord Chaitanya are confidential to the Vedas. Intelligent people accept them, whereas fools deny them. One who gets pleasure by hearing these topics will certainly see Lord Chaitanya face to face. In this way, all those devotees who offered prayers received benedictions. Srivas Pandit was most magnanimous. Therefore, these pastimes took place in his house. The devotees each saw Vishvambar in whichever incarnation they most adored. These wonderful pastimes of Gaurachandra are known as his Mahaprakash, or great revelation. In this way, all of Lord Chaitanya's servants and their wives saw the Lord reveal himself day after day. Anyone who renders service to the Lord with his body and mind is able to see these pastimes of the Lord. Many tapasvis, sannyasis, jnanis, and yogis lived in Navadvip. They studied or taught Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam for their whole lives. Yet, they did not change their religious practices. Some of them vowed not to accept anything from others and shriveled up their bodies by uselessly observing celibacy. Not one of those useless, proud persons could see that the happiness of Vaikuntha had manifested there. Although the Lord was seen by the servants and maidservants of Srivas, he was seen by the servants and maidservants of Srivas, who was already very poor. He could not be known by those persons, the reciters of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, despite their study of the scriptures. The mercy received by the servants of Murari Gupta could not be seen by shaving one's head. One cannot achieve the mercy of Lord Chaitanya by wealth, high birth, or scholarship, for the Lord is controlled only by devotional service. Okay, so we're going to read all this tomorrow. Such revelations took place in Navadip, yet none of the Bhattacharyas knew about this. Wow, this is a great, great topic. All right, so I will stop here. And, okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Kishore Prabhu, could you do Jaidwani?
Jai Mukunda, Jai Nitai. Jai Sabrikar Sheshe Gurgao Ranga Gan Harivika Girid Hari Radha Vinar Bihari Radha Nainath Radhaman Bihari Radha Marva Sheshe Radha Mukunda Jiu Ki Jai Sri Govinda Govinath Madan Mahan Jiu Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Paramaham Savari Vrachakachari Varyasto Trishta Shishiman Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपार परमहं सबरी व्रजचार्य वर्यस्तो तरस्त शिशुमान भक्तिविरान नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज परिपावन श्रील गुरुदेव की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपार स्तो तरस्त शिशुमान भक्ति बल तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपार स्तो तरस्त शिशुमान भक्तिविरान वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपार स्तो तरस्त शिशुमान भक्तिविरान त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय यत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान गुरुगुण स्वामी महाराज की जय यत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज की जय यत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान भक्ति वैभावपुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय यत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान भक्ति प्रमोदपुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय यत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान भक्ति स्वरूप भक्ति सार गोस्वामी महाराज की जय यत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान भक्ति द्वैता मार्ग गोस्वामी परम गुरु महाराज की जय यत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज परम गुरुदेव की जय यत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपादस्तो दृष्ट शिशुमान जगद्गुरु श्री वर्षपानाविद्वैतदास शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय स्वापरिकार श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपार महापरम भगवत परवार परमहंस स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान गौर किशोर दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद सप्तम गोस्वामी स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान सचिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद वैष्णव सर्वभौम स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय सूर्य कुंदवासी सिद्ध शलमर दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय श्री उर्वरास दास की जय गुरुविदान आचार्य श्री शिल बलदेव विभूषण प्रभु की जय महामहोपरियाय रसिकृष्ण मुनि शिल विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जय शिल रसिकानंद मुरारी प्रभु की जय शिल रामचंद्र कविराज की जय जय श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जय जय शिल नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभुत्राय की जय जय श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय जय विश्वदार अर्का विशल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय जय श्री अष्टक विराज सुरजान नित्यानंद दुष्पाल श्री सती महंत की जय जय श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट रास रघुनाथ सर्वस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर रघुनंद लोकनाथ कर्प आदि गौर परिसार वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्री मुकुंद दास की जय। श्री मुकुंद संजय की जय। जय प्रेम सखो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। शिल ईश्वरपुरी गोस्वामी पाद की जय। शिल माधवेंद्रपुरी गोस्वामी पाद की जय। जय श्री अंतरद्वीप मायपुर सिमंदीप गौतमदीप मध्यदीप कौलीदीप ऋतुदीप जानुदीप माधुर द्रुमादीप रुद्रदीप मात्मका श्री नावद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री श्रीवास अंगन की जय। जय श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। जय श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय। जय श्री गौरचंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गौर गदाधर जीव की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ गोपी कपाग गिर गोवर्धन वर्षद बनान माक श्री ब्रजमंडल धाम की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंगा सखिया मन सखी तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधारानी ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री ललिता विशाख चित्र चंपकलट ठंग विद्या इंदुलेख रंग देवी सुदेवी अरिसख्य वृंद की जय। श्री अनंग प्रेम मजलाल श्री रूपल मंग राग विरस गुणरति कस्तूरी कमल नयन मणि अरिमंजारी वृंद की जय। श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भगवती पूर्णमासी गोमाय देवी की जय। जय श्री गोपीश्वर सरशिव महादेव की जय। जय राधा परिंकित राम श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमाधव जीव की जय। श्री तत्व गोपीनाथ की जय। श्री सदा बकुल की जय। शिल प्रभात आविर्भाव स्थल की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय। जय सर्व विक्रम शनुकरी भक्त विक्रमनाश श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। शिवलाल लक्ष्मी नृसिंह देव की जय। जय श्री चरिताम चरि संप्रदाय चरि आचार्य की जय। श्री मध्वार मनोज विष्णु स्वामी निम्बदित्य चरि आचार्य की जय। आक्रम राज श्री चैतन्य मात की जय। श्री गौरीमाद वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमाद भगवताम भगवद गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भगवत जैव धर्म आदि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन धर्म की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलयुग तरक ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे महामंत्र की जय। श्री आनंद गिरि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री समकट गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। परम परम ब्रह्मन परम सत्यम परमेश्वर पति पावन प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम स्वयं भगवान जगन्नाथ मिश्र नंदन गौर सुंदर गराधर प्राणनाथ श्री विशंबर मिश्र निमाय पंडित श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य चंद्र महाप्रभु की जय। अखंड गुरु आदि गुरु भक्ति स्वरूप शिष्यमान नित्यानंद राम महाजान की जय। श्री नित्यानंद बलराम की जय। जय श्री मुकुंद की जय। जय श्री मुकुंद की जय। जय श्री मुकुंद की जय। जय श्री गौर परिवार की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य भगवान की जय। जय श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। जय श्रील प्रभुपाद भक्ति सरान सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जय। जय श्रील भक्ति सौरभ भक्ति सार गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवत्याय नमो नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री शुद्ध भक्ति की जय। श्री कृष्ण भक्ति की जय।
Jai ho, Dandavat pranams everybody. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams. Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu, Champak Mataji, And
Haribol.
Haribol. Haribol, Bhavatarani Mataji. Hare Krishna. And let's see who's here on YouTube and Facebook. Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Hari Priya Didi, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Vangshiwala Prabhu, Manjari Didi, Mahi Bharat Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams Prabhu, Suri Didi, and Vishaka Didi, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji. And I saw today was quite a lot of people joining in the reading today. But not everybody's names. Whoever wrote a comment, I could see their names, but they're, yeah, quite a few people. All right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this evening. Hare Krishna. Before I end the stream, do any of you have anything you'd like to mention?
Yes.
Yes.
Just thank you so infinite amount of gratitude to Vrindavan Das Thakur. And we're so fortunate to be able to hear him, to serve his writings, his devotional service. And then by that receive the benediction. I can see you all there, and we'll be singing with Mukunda.
Yes, that was such a wonderful benediction, wasn't it? It was a very unique benediction. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. It reminded me. So imagine we can be with Gurudev, who was such a kirtaniya, probably one of the best of his times, if not the best. Although he would tell me, he said, well, Prabhupada was superior. But nevertheless, in the spiritual world will be all together. Imagine, I can imagine what will be like the most beautiful kirtans. Oh my God.
Yes.
It's gonna be a really intense Gaur Arti, and I'm all for it.
I say.
Yes. Jai Ho.
Jai Ho.
Thank you.
I mean, can you imagine that? I mean, can you imagine that? It's gonna be really interesting. Mahaprabhu sitting on a golden throne, and here will be singing Brahma, Shiva, Eva Shukadeva Goswami. We'll be singing with Mukunda, and Narahari Sarkar is gonna be doing the Chamara. And Prabhupada and Gurudev and my Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas are gonna be there.
Yeah.
And Narottam Das Thakur's going to be there with his mridanga that sings.
Yes.
Narottam Das, oh my Krishna, the mridanga style Narottam Das Thakur. That's gonna be amazing.
And Srinivas and Shamananda Prabhu also, their unique styles.
Yeah.
Imagine if they're all playing mridanga together. What is that gonna sound like? Madhuram Mridanga Bhaje Paramara Sal.
Wow.
I've always dreamed of having sorry.
No.
The Gaur Arti is so descriptive. It's so like it's a whole, like it's a movie, like the whole thing. It's, if it could be made like with all the verses being sung, but like with visuals of everything that's happening, I think that would really affect people, like how when people sing Gaur Arti, because lots of times, especially if, like when you don't understand the language or anything like that, you're just singing words, but it's like a whole very visual, very descriptive, beautiful pastime. And so if people were able to connect the words with like visuals, I think that would really enhance people's Gaur Arti experience. Like singing Gaur Arti, they would have a picture in their head when they're singing these things, and they'll be able to like really get deeply absorbed in it. I always dreamed of doing something like that. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do anything like that, but yeah, I dreamed of it happening.
Why not?
Why not? It right now. Now you too.
I just have the idea, but I don't have any skills in like.
Well, you can get people with skills to help you.
Never know, they'll just say. One day, my godbrother friend, he was his name was Kula Shekhar Das, and he was the first disciple of Srila Prabhupada in Europe and in England. And he said he worked really hard to learn this Bhaktivinoda Thakur song. I can't remember which particular one now. And he was all happy that he was going to sing it to Prabhupada. So he went into Prabhupada's quarters and told him, and he sat and he sang the song, and Prabhupada said, okay, but who's going to understand it? He said, it will be important to you to also have these words in English so that the audience could understand. And so I think Bhatrini got the blessings, too, that she wanted to give that to the world. We both, got together and with Gurudev's blessings, I think, has multiplied.
But you don't need to have the English if you have the visuals.
But the visuals, yeah, especially nowadays.
And I did so many albums, and I'm not technically versed in anything, and I just asked people to help. I came up with the idea, and then I got people to help me do it.
Yeah, those albums are masterpieces. Wow. So but it starts with the idea, doesn't it? It starts with the
you have the idea, and you also have so many talents. So I can just see that.
Yeah, and the director.
It can be in the language. It doesn't have to be in a different language because the visuals tell everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, a little explanation like that would be great.
Oh, they can.
I mean, that's actually like my biggest, like, my dream is to. I mean, like, once I have this whole Gaudiya Kirtan app and everything finished, then I'd really love to spend time on just making all the kirtans very accessible to people, so it's not just like Bengali gibberish, but like they really have a feeling of what they're singing. And there's very simple grammatical rules, like very simple things, like whenever something ends with a bo or a be, then it's future tense. And like if you just have a basic understanding of some of the grammar, it makes it not just like random sounds, but you actually it's like you're talking, like you know what you're saying. And then the kirtans are very easy to memorize. Like you memorize the kirtans automatically because it's just like when you hear a commercial, you can get the song stuck in your head because you know what all the words mean and everything. So it could be like that with the kirtans. And so I would really love to just make it as accessible as possible to children, to everybody. And so that would be one component, is like the visuals for the words. And then also very simple grammar explanations, like very basic grammar explanations, and just all these different resources to help people be able to, understand what they're singing.
It will happen.
I hope so.
It will.
That would be great if we could get like a team of devotees, people who do illustration and animation and different things, and it could be like a whole. I think that would be a really great series. And then you just watch a short, 7-minute video or something like that, and then you get so much out of it. Like you'll be able to keep, like it will help you in the. Yeah.
I think we can. Nowadays, technology is going beyond, expectations. So, especially in the world of music and recording and like that. So we could have kirtans with even Gurudev will be participating. Because we have his voice and we have Prabhupada's voice, and like that, this we could get really inspiration.
Well, these readings or classes or whatever you call them are so inspiring, and I don't know all the people that are attending, but you just say their names, and I feel like a connection to them, and I'm receiving so much. I can't think of the word. I'm not enjoying. I don't want to enjoy without Krishna, but it's so many benedictions, so many blessings. I'm feeling so happy in these classes.
I'm also feeling like some satisfaction, right? That we all get to gather and we get to read the words, and we're very fortunate to be able to spend time every day with these words of our acharyas. What else could we want? And I'm grateful, because if I was just reading, for one thing, I wouldn't maintain it, because I'm not very good at maintaining things unless I feel pressure from other people. But also, when I'm just reading on my own, I don't really.
I don't believe you are not. You are so consistent about all these things, and it's inspiration for persons like me.
No, but the reason I've been consistent is because I know at 7 o'clock every morning there's people waiting for me. And so then I'm able to be consistent. But if I don't have that, then I'm not consistent. And also it changes it when I'm just reading on my own, then I don't get so into it. But then when there's really wonderful devotees around, then I feel more inspiration to so I'm very grateful to everybody who's been coming, especially like senior devotees like Nirihari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji and Mahi Bharat Prabhu and it really yeah, I'm very grateful. I don't deserve it, but you've been very kind to me. And yeah, I hope this continues on. I hope it doesn't stop.
So happy that
Well, is that
all
the
of
difference?
you of the newer devotees who are so qualified and so enthusiastic are allowing us to participate.
Yeah, we get blessings from you. So, I think it's the difference between japa and what you're saying. Like if I do it for myself, you read for so long, and then something could happen, and no one's there. So I mean, yeah, you can read later, whatever. But now we have a time where, sorry, but we got Zoom class. Sorry, but everything is being delegated, for later, and like that. But I think it's like the difference between japa and Harinam Sankirtan. I think that's Lord Chaitanya is so pleased with, we do it now for congregationally, and I think reading is Harinam, isn't it? Like
it is. Definitely.
I wanted to say this several times.
That's
There's
just,
a book
oh,
by one of our godbrothers named Vaikuntana, and he only did 200 copies. I didn't realize it. And he gave us this book a few years ago, and it's called Srila Prabhupada's Miracle, the Transformation of Matter into Spirit.
you want to put it on the camera?
And can you see it?
Oh.
I don't know how to show it. Is it showing? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's the manner he's walking with Prabhupada. And he was married to Saradia, who's passed away. And he joined in the 60s, like 68. He was still in high school. And I didn't realize that he traveled with Srila Prabhupada and typed all of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And so we're reading that now. And he just, for some reason, he got a book when he was in India the first time, I think 1970, and learned Bengali grammar. So he knew how to do the transliteration for Prabhupada. And it's just that he describes exactly what it was like to be around Srila Prabhupada perfectly. And it's exactly what he says. It's his miracle, the transformation of matter to spirit. And whenever we'd enter into the room with Srila Prabhupada, the material world would melt away and we'd all be in Vaikuntha. And he's not a big player in the book himself.
Because he's also very humble.
Yeah,
but
and it's such a nice book, and it's very inspiring, and it gives so much information, and I just thought it'd be nice.
Thank you for letting me know about that. We'll have to read it. I mean, I really want to do this. I want to go through all different biographies of different devotees, like all their memories and like that, Chasing Rhinos with the Swami, and like just all the different memory books, and of course Gurudev's biography, and there's also Shubhananda Prabhu's Gurudev Bodhayan Maharaj. He wrote. We read A Life of Devotion, but then there's also that one that Bodhayan Maharaj recently published about Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj. I'd love to just do a thing where we just go through, memory book after memory, like what do you call it? Biography after biography after biography from all different people. Like that could just go on and on and on. I wanted to do that in the evening time, but it's not possible for me because I have too many things going on. But maybe when we're finished with Caitanya-bhāgavata, we could do that for a while. Like I think we'll finish around Gaur Purnima time, and then maybe we can just go through different biographies for a while, and then once once we've gone through quite a few of those books, then we could start Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's just an idea that I
Oh,
have.
that sounds absolutely great.
Yeah.
And yeah. Gurudev one time asked me, big eyes. He said, "Have you read my Guru, your Bhakti Pragyan Kishore Maharaj's book? His biography." We started, Gurudev, we started. It's wonderful. So that would be one great book to.
Oh, he was really pleased that I'd read the Vaishnava Vijay when you came to our house, that pink book.
Yes. Mayavadi Ki Jivani. Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, you've read this?"
Wonderful. Yeah.
So thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Facilitating such platform.
Oh, hey,
Right.
Prabhu, one question.
Yes.
And yesterday in Shripada Bhaktivedanta Janardhan Maharaj's class, he quoted before he started reading, he quoted a shlok, or it was part of his Mangala Charan on glorifying Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it had the words Chaitanya Charitamrita in it. And then afterwards he chanted a shlok glorifying Krishna's Kaviraj. What's that shlok? What's that shlok that has the actual words Chaitanya Charitamrita in it?
Well, he's staying with us now, so I can ask him.
Yeah, ask him, because I really want to
Okay.
know.
Okay.
I think the second shlok is from a song of Narottam Das Thakur, but I don't know what the previous shlok was that he said in his Mangal Charan.
Okay, I'll ask him. All right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. I'll write it down so I don't forget, though. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and see you all tomorrow for our next reading. I think we have 7,000 more words left in this chapter. So we're not going to finish tomorrow. We're going to get very close to finishing the chapter, and then there'll be 1,000 words. We usually do around 5,500 words a day in our readings. That's usually what I select. All right, Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat pranams.